Okay, Wednesday morning, and that means we are in studio with Gabriel McSharry, medical herbalist and nutritionist. Good morning, Gabriel.
Morning, Margaret.
Now, of course, if you have questions for Gabriel, you can call us now to 0818 365 500, or you can email or text the programme, to 083 3500 530. Now, just some of the questions we had left over from last week. For the past number of weeks, I have been feeling sick in my stomach, says this listener, and it's bloated. Have been to the doctor and he cannot find anything wrong with me. I eat, a healthy eater, and they do have IBS.
Yeah, the sickness in the stomach and the bloating is just a manifestation of the IBS. It's all part of it. And with IBS, what's very important is the ecosystem of the gut. And I mentioned this before a number of times. There's maybe 400 to 500 different microorganisms that live in our gut. That's from our mouth to our anus, like our whole digestive tract. And these guys are supposed to be there, and they're supposed to be there in a fine balance. And if this goes out of balance, then it can create a lot of bloating, and then with the bloating you get pain and altered bowel function like diarrhea, constipation, and on, as one gets with IBS. So the whole ecosystem is very important too, and we need to nourish this with good food by avoiding things that have an adverse effect on it.
Are there other foods that you could take? I mean, apart from the obvious, the fried foods and stuff like that could irritate your stomach and have a sick. But could there be ordinary foods that you're eating, like that you think are healthy, like your salad foods and that sort of thing, that can irritate your stomach as well?
Yes, because if, for instance, there's you have a salad and you know some of that salad has pesticide residue and fungicide residues and so on there. These are the things that can have an effect on the gut microflora. In sensitive individuals, in many people it may not have any difference at all, but people who are sensitive to these chemicals, fungicides, herbicides, pesticides, it can. So no doubt a salad is a very healthy meal or food. And fresh raw vegetables are great, but go for good quality, and if you do get conventional farmed ones, so ones that are farmed with these pesticides, herbicides, wash them well, peel them well, and you'll reduce that burden.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an example, I guess, of good foods that yes, can exacerbate this.
So anything then that you can take that will stop, I suppose, the sickness and the bloatedness and...
Yeah, so there's a number of different things. I use herbal medicine a lot here. It works very well. So just to balance that ecosystem, as I was talking, herbs like golden seal and garlic and meadowsweet and oregano oil, these are things that I use that will say knock out the bad guys and don't kill the good guys type of thing. And over time, along with right diet and probiotics, this can rebalance that ecosystem again. With IBS, that's related to the menstrual cycle. There's a hormonal link or trigger, and in this case I'd use herbs for the hormonal system. Also the nervous system, so stress can exacerbate this, not the cause in my opinion. Antispasmodic herbs can work really well to reduce that kind of the pain and the sickly feeling if there's griping and so on. And valerian, hops, chamomile, lemon balm, cramp bark, St. John's wort, these are all key herbs that are antispasmodic. I will mention a blend of herbs that's clinically proven, goes under the name of Iberogast. Again, a German preparation, but it's one I make up at the clinic and works really, really well for the symptoms of irritable bowel. So, again, what I mentioned, the bloating, the flatulence, the wind, the pain, griping, altered bowel habits. and on and on. And this can affect sleep, and then that can have a knock-on effect on energy, and so on, so on, so on. So if someone has something natural that's good for symptomatic control, I mean, that's great. So I make it up at the clinic. It contains the herb Iberis, Arma, Angelica, caraway fruit, peppermint leaves, chamomile, St. Mary's thistle, lemon balm leaves, chalodine, and licorice root. So again, as I say, it's a clinically proven a blend of herbal medicines, quite a lot of research on it to show that it reduces the symptoms of IBS.
Okay. Now this listener keeps getting a build-up of wax in their ear. They have it flushed out at the doctor's, but the problem keeps coming back. Anything you can recommend?
Well, with wax in the ear, it's important to know the little wax is normal, but when it collects and thickens, removal by syringe is necessary. So some people, they just overproduce that, the wax, for whatever reason. And, you know, to soften the wax in preparation for the syringe, I recommend 3 to 4 drops of garlic oil, or castor oil, or mullein oil. So there are 3 herbal oils.
Is that the oil, or is it the olive oil or the castor oil that I remember it used to be lukewarm and put into your ear?
Yeah, it could have been the olive.
Left over the
cotton
oil.
It could have been either or. I mean, the likes of olive oil, which we use a lot in salads and that, and in our foods today, people don't really think of as a medicine, but traditionally it was used quite regularly for dry, flaky scalp, for if there was earaches. Generally,
I remember
skin,
getting it put into my ear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the hot oil will kind of loosen up the wax and stuff. But with some people, they're just they overproduce wax for whatever reason. So that's what I do. I the kind of breaking up it before they get it syringed. Still recommend that they get it syringed. If a suggestion is, if there's anything else going on in the body, is there other ailments? By treating them, it may have a beneficial effect on the earwax, but it's a shot in the dark.
Okay. This listener says they suffer badly with migraine. I take painkillers, but they're not helping.
With migraine, what's important is triggers. What triggers it off, and there's very common triggers. So before I talk about the kind of treatment or prevention, it's worth mentioning a few of the things that can trigger off migraine. So if one suffers, and it can be very debilitating, and in this caller's case, they take painkillers, probably the strongest ones, maybe prescription ones, and it doesn't hit it. So these can be very debilitating. So food and drink, probably the main one, because we all consume them daily.
Yeah, because you hear people who suffer from migraine saying, chocolate triggers it off. I know a lady who says tomatoes, when she eats them, triggers her migraine. Is that the case?
Yeah, it can be, and it can be different for different people. But there is a few hyperallergens. There's ones that we have well documented now that tend to be the male culprits in triggering migraine, and these are the ones that I encourage people to start with first, and the only way they'll know is if they take them out in a sequence over time. So wheat, dairy, sugar, artificial preservatives, and chemical additives that you'll get a lot in processed foods. Cured or processed meats, it's a big one. Alcohol, aspartame. Aspartame is an artificial sweetener. Caffeine, and MSG, monosodium glutamate. So all them that I've just mentioned there, these are the ones you start with, and cut these out, and give it a period of time, 8 weeks maybe, and see is there an improvement. Watch a few things like dehydration and or hunger. They can be triggers. Changing in sleep cycle. So missing sleep and oversleeping can trigger a migraine. Stress, so emotional trauma, can trigger one. Physical exertion, so intense exercise and so on, can also trigger one. Hormones, this is very important, and when I see quite a lot at the clinic, is because it's predominantly females who suffer these debilitating migraines. But if you experience them on or just before a period, or during it, or during pregnancy, or during the menopause, there's definitely a hormonal link. Or with some people, they can be triggered by hormonal medications like the birth control pill, HRT, hormone replacement therapy, and so on. So here, this is one where that responds very, very well to certain herbal medicines to modulate hormones. And once that's done, the migraines can dissipate, and they might even go away, but largely reduce. So that's the main one. Some external stimuli like bright lights, fluorescent lights, loud noises, strong smells, chemical perfumes, and these chemical air fresheners people use in the house. Watch them. And people can be as sensitive to even seasonal changes as a trigger. So that's all the triggers, and they're worth keeping in mind to trying to avoid one come on. But if one suffers badly, then there's certain herbal medicines that I recommend. Tanacetum, or feverfew, is a traditional use for headaches and migraine, and it works on a number of levels. It's anti-inflammatory, anti-allergic. It inhibits platelet secretions, which tend to play a role in migraine. It's best used as a preventative, or taken at the very beginning, at least, because during a migraine, if you just take it, it's much less effective. So as a prophylactic, works quite well. Ginkgo biloba, another one, has a specific action for treating headaches. It's anti-allergic and increases blood flow and circulation to the brain stem. Also, liver herbs can be good, St. Mary's thistle. But again, I wouldn't emphasise more that hormonal herbs tend to be very important here and work very, very well in women who suffer from migraine.
Okay. And, migraine headache, it's very severe, isn't it?
Can be, yeah. Some people, maybe they feel it coming on the day before, and bad headache, but when it hits, it could hit for 2 to 3 days.
Right.
And some people just have to regress into a dark room and ride it out with really strong painkillers, and that's all they can do for maybe 2 or 3 days. Can't work, can't drive.
But from the point of view of people who have migraine, is it something that really they should get checked out with the doctor and make sure it's migraine? If it's something they haven't had before, is it something, severe headache like that for 2 or 3 days?
Yeah, by all means, if it's a novel occurrence, if you've never had them before, these pains in the heads, by all means get checked out, and possibly scans and so on that'll be recommended by your GP. But this advice is mainly to people who suffer from migraine, have a clinical diagnosis of migraine, knows exactly what it is, but there's still not much out there in the sense of conventional medicine that can avert some of these really debilitating migraines.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Keep your questions coming in to us. 0818 365 500 is our phone number, and you can also text us to 083 3500 530. The CMD training time on Northwest Today, it is now 11:24.
Ocean FM.
Time on Northwest Today, thanks to CMD Training Institute. Training today to meet the challenges of tomorrow. CMD Training Institute.
Ocean FM. Ocean FM.
While you're listening to this, people who could be your customers are listening to us, the Northwest's Ocean FM.
Mary here from Geraldine Oaks Ladies Boutique in Ballyshannon. We have been advertising with Ocean for the past 5 years. Through advertising with Ocean, we have been able to reach customers all over the Northwest. We are delighted to dress mother of the brides and special guests both near and far. I've no hesitation in recommending Ocean to help your business reach new customers.
Radio advertising is a proven medium and one of the most effective ways to get your message across. To reach new clients on the Northwest's Ocean FM, call 071 911 8100. It's simple, 071 911 8100. Go on, get on air with Ocean today.
Proudly supporting our own Ocean FM.
Vitamin B12.
Connor Gold. Vitamin-enriched V Plus milk.
Folic acid is necessary.
A delicious low-fat milk enriched with calcium and folic acid.
Vitamin A is required.
Each glass provides 45% of your recommended daily allowance
calcium
of vitamins A, B2 and E, as well as your recommended daily allowance
Vitamin E
for folic acid. Connor Gold Vitamin-enriched V Plus milk.
Vitamin B2
In your local store now.
And proteins in the body.
Make sure your kids have a ball this summer at the VHIGA Cool Camps. Here's Sligo star David Kelly to tell you more.
Hi kids, place to be this summer. Sligo VHIGA Cool Camps. Have fun, learn the skills, make new friends. Register on GA.ie. VHIGA Cool Camps. Place to be this summer.
Supported by Ocean FM. VHIGA Cool Camps, the official GA summer camps.
Moffat's of Sligo summer sale is now on. Fantastic reductions throughout the store, bargains and discounts for everyone. Come on down to Moffat's sale, O'Connell Street, Sligo. Moffat's of Sligo summer sale is now on.
Chadwick Sligo Plum Centre, Old Dublin Road Business Park, Carrow. Sale now on. Come up and get a good deal on all your plumbing and heating needs this summer. Chadwick Sligo Plum Centre, Carrow. Now open through lunch. 07191 54550.
Noreen here, Radiance Beauty and Body Clinic, 44 O'Connell Street, Sligo. Lash tint, bright tint and trim with full Art Deco makeup, all for only €40. Contact us on 9146 004.
New in town, Colour Bar Hair Design, Castle Street, Sligo, with all hairdressing services, including the 12-week blow dry. Great atmosphere. Call into Sylvia, Jeanette and Clodagh today. 07191 40400.
Are you in pain or worrying about underlying health issues? Don't wait it out and worry. Skip the queues and come and see the caring professionals at Northwest Independent Hospital, Ballykelly, Derry. They provide a wide range of specialist clinics such as neurology, physio and sports injury, cardiology, x-ray and MRI, well men and women screening. Call them now to book your private, confidential and professional consultation on 048 777 23501 or visit their website nwih.co.uk.
To have your say, call the Northwest Today comment line on 0818 365 500. Text your comment to 083 3500 530.
And you're very welcome back to the programme. We are in the company of Gabriel McSharry, medical herbalist and nutritionist. Now, we're just going to continue along with your questions. Of course, you can keep sending them in, 0818 365 500 and text 083 3500 530. Sore, itchy eyes, could it be an allergy, asks this caller?
I'd say so. I'd say it's probably hay fever for this time of year. I use a great herbal formula here, which is a synergistic blend of herbs. I mentioned it the last few weeks as well, because, you know, as I said, hay fever is the time of the year. But all these herbs in combination, so not on their own, work really well just to get you through the hay fever season. Gentian, primula, Rumex crispus, elderflower and vervain, and you know, I make it up at the clinic in capsule form for anyone who wants it, but it can work really, really well just controlling it through the hay fever season.
Okay. Now, hi Ocean, what was the name of the doctor you have on? Well, his name is Gabriel McSharry. He's a medical herbalist and nutritionist. And can you repeat what you recommend for IBS and where can you buy it? But it's all for you, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the Iberogast is the one I make up at the clinic. As I say, it's a German proprietary blend, so it's kind of a controlled patent on the growing and the producing of it, and as far as I know, it's not sold in Ireland. So it was there. It was a very popular one. I trained and practiced in Australia, and it was a very popular treatment there for IBS, because there is really no other treatment for the symptomatic approach to IBS, conventional or natural, generally, and it's something that had quite a bit of clinical research. So that's what I mimic here, and I make it up at the clinic.
All right, and so for maybe that particular person, if they want to contact you,
yeah, ring 07191 42940.
Okay, now, hiya, I was just wondering if it is normal for a 14-year-old girl to suffer from really bad headaches often?
No, it's not normal at all. Like, headaches aren't normal. You know, if one was dehydrated, say, and they got a bit of a kind of a headache, it's a signal by the body to hydrate oneself or hunger, but it's not a kind of normal thing to have. ongoing, and really she should probe into what's causing them. Again, as I mentioned earlier, in girls, a common thing, maybe around 14 or so, maybe just after menarche, a common thing could be a hormonal trigger to periodic headaches. So if it comes on a week before menstruation, if it comes on the day before, if it comes on during, most likely a hormonal trigger, and therefore that'll be the treatment protocol, is to give hormonal herbs, and then outside that look at the other triggers.
Okay, so maybe it's worth maybe a visit to the GP for this particular person, just to
or
double
they can
check.
give me a ring and I can assess it for them.
Okay, repeat the name of the medication advised for anxiety and blood pressure mentioned last week. Now,
right. Not too sure specifically which one I mentioned, but anxiety, I use things like hops, valerian, St. John's wort work really well. All these work quite well on blood pressure as well. Motherwort, hawthorn, cinnamon, fenugreek, all these are good for blood pressure.
Okay. Hi, I suffer from itchy spots on my face and neck. I think it's from food, but I don't know what. How do I find out what's causing it? I'm currently pregnant, but I have had this for 4 years.
Right, so it's not hormonal then if she's had it for 4 years. So, but maybe the hormonal thing with pregnancy is exacerbated or made it worse, and that's why she's ringing in. With foods and how you work out really, because there's loads of tests for allergy tests, and in my opinion, it gets very ambiguous, and some of them can take you off nearly everything, and yeah, you can get a response, but then, like, how do you settle on a diet that contains nutritious foods that you can go on into the future eating and you won't be allergic to or so on? But this is a process I use in the clinic. Maybe a modification of what's called a rotation diet, but start with the hyperallergens and start with the main ones that are linked to the specific allergy one has. So with atopic dermatitis, I don't know, is it acne this person has, or is it a form of atopic dermatitis? But I might start with something like wheat here, and you give it 6 weeks, and you assess. And then if you're still on the fence, generally a lot of people will get quite a considerable response, and they'll know that, it definitely improved then, and other things improved, like flatulence and digestive problems, so possibly one has a sensitivity to gluten or wheat, and so on. Now, if someone's still on the fence after 6 to 8 weeks, I get them to have a party day on wheat and just eat loads of it for a day.
Party day on wheat, you said.
or whatever the hyperallergen I got them to remove. Just eat loads of it one day and wait for 3 days, just because in case it's a delayed reaction. And then you'll know, because it'll hit you like a sledgehammer, and all the symptoms will return, generally what feels like worse than before. But the good thing is you've isolated something that your body doesn't like, and creates a lot of illness in your body and symptoms, and best avoid that then for extended periods of time while it's working on the immune system. So in the meantime, and then down the track, now it could be 12, 24 months, you can maybe add some stuff, some of this back in moderate amounts. But for some people, well, specifically we'll say celiacs, who they have a true allergy to wheat, they should never add it back in. And as I said, they might avoid it for a few years, and then they have it by accident, and they go, do you know what, that tasted good, but it didn't affect me that bad. Maybe I'm cured, or I can go back. But generally, after a period of time of adding it back in, they'll go back to the initial symptoms, and it'll cause the same damage to the digestive tract, and so on and so on. So really, you should just avoid it.
Okay. This listener says they are on a Ventolin inhaler for the last 30 years. Is it bad to be on inhalers too old?
Sorry, what's the question?
I'm on a Ventolin inhaler for the last 30 years. Is it bad to be on inhalers too old? I presume they're meaning
too old
because of the age that they are.
Oh, okay, yeah. She's probably an asthmatic if she's on Ventolin. And, there's... They have a place, and if depending on how bad her chest gets or her respiratory tract gets, if she gets about where she can't breathe or periods of shortness of breath and so on, she might need this inhaler, especially if she's taken it 30 years now,
Yeah.
And so it's something that she should really keep going with. But in the meantime, there's always improvement with good nutrition. Herbal medicines can help a lot. Some lifestyle changes, and you can largely reduce your reliance on the inhaler. So if one uses it 6 times a day, for instance, if they change their diet, lifestyle, and so on, they might be able to reduce that down to 3 or less.
Okay.
And
so it's all about lifestyle as well as.
Definitely, it'll always improve existing conditions.
Okay, now this listener has an embarrassing condition, I suppose. Is there anything I can take, as I'm letting off wind an awful lot and it's very embarrassing? I have no or very little control over this problem.
Right. Well, flatulence, again, when we opened the show with IBS, it's one of the main symptoms of it. And again, down to the ecosystem of the gut. So probiotics can help quite a lot. So they're good quality bacteria. You're getting yogurts, good quality yogurt, Clinisk, Yo Valley in supermarkets, whole milk, natural yogurt, and sweeten yourself with a bit of honey and berries or something. Probiotics can be taken in a capsule, and you get them in a fridge in a health food store for a course or two, just to re-inoculate the gut. But by and large, lacto-fermented foods should be part of your diet. So sauerkraut and a good quality yogurt. And if you can make yogurt yourself, it's the best way to get this bacteria, because once commercially, the shelf life destroys the bacteria. So you can make it yourself and consume it straight after it's made. Brilliant. And then the herbs I mentioned, the preparation I make up, Iberogast, and also there's some teas, meadowsweet, chamomile, peppermint. All these can reduce flatulence.
Okay, and do you make your own yogurt?
I do.
Oh, we'll have to get a recipe of you now for next week.
It's actually quite simple, but I'll go through it next week. So.
Well, you'll go through it. Fair play to you. Hi, every time I eat rosemary, my gums swell and I get gum boils and terrible toothache. What could be in the herb that causes it?
Yeah, hard to know, but one of two things I'd guess. One is that she's allergic to that family, that genus of herb, and she should avoid it. Another thing is rosemary's antimicrobial, antibacterial. It has that action, and if she has an existing periodontal disease, maybe an infection or a low-lying infection in the gums, gum disease, and she washed it out with rosemary tea, we'll say, as a kind of a swish or a gargle, it could exacerbate it initially. In that, the bacteria or whatever, the infection goes a little bit crazy, like, we're dying here, whatever. Yeah. But if she was to take it over time, then that should reduce all that. But if every time she takes it, she breaks out in boils and blisters in her gums and so on, I just avoid that, because possibly an allergy.
So just avoid it completely. Anything for black bags under eyes? I get plenty of sleep and drink plenty of fluids.
Yeah, right. I'm just see, can I recall offhand? This is something it's one of, again, 4 or 5 things. A hormonal link is a strong hormonal link with some people. There's injury to the spinal column can also create this. Obviously, there's the sleep and all that, but you've ruled that out. And then there's allergies. Sometimes an allergy to wheat can create these black bags under the eyes. And there's 1 or 2 other ones I just can't recall now. But yeah, so the key is to take a full case history of the person, work out what it could be, which one of these this person is prominent with, and then treat accordingly.
Okay. Lady in her 30s, prone to throat infections and colds, a bit like myself. Is there anything she can take to build up her immune system?
Yeah, echinacea is a great herb, an immune tonic. Astragalus, another one. So they're good immune system herbs. Elderflowers, elderberry, good for the immune system. Specifically for the sore throats and that, a gargle with citrus seed extract, a gargle made from sage, golden seal and myrrh. All them herbs, strong and calendula, which is marigold, strong antibacterial, antimicrobial action, great for a tea and a swish and a swallow. In a tincture, add to water, swish and swallow, and a gargle. And when it goes down from the throat down onto the chest or this post-nasal drip, you always kind of swallow after you swish, and that's okay, that's fine.
Okay. Can you suggest something for chronic recurrent debilitating sinusitis?
Right.
Did I say that correctly?
Yeah, you did, yeah. So, again, I think it might have been last week maybe, we mentioned again that there's a proprietary blend that works really good for sinusitis. Like sinusitis is very close to hay fever. Again, the symptoms you're talking, itchy, irritated eyes, maybe watering eyes, blocked nose, pain in the middle forehead, down into the cheeks. And with that, then, one becomes a mouth breather. When they sleep, mouth dries out. It can lead to general upper respiratory tract ailments. And and it can be quite debilitating. There could be polyps there, and so on, so on, so on. So, again, that proprietary blend of herbs is made from gentian, primula, rumix, elderflower and verbena. And I make it up, and it works really well. And I also use nasal lavage, or where you get a neti pot, which is a small little pot with a spout. You put in saline solution, a little bit of 1/5 teaspoon of sea salt to about a cup of hot water. Let cool a little bit to lukewarm. Pour it into the neti pot. Tilt head to one side. Put it in one nostril, goes up through the sinus, out the other nostril, and it just takes all the gunk out. Again, it's not a fix, but as an additive, an adjunct to all other things like herbs and diet, the neti pot works really well at just taking any kind of allergens out of the nasal passage and clear away some of the mucus and catarrh, and therefore one can breathe better and have less inflammation there. Because really sinusitis is the immune system reacting to an allergen, an airborne allergen generally, but can be foods too. Okay. And it reacts by inflammation and mucus, and that's what blocks things up.
Okay. Now we have a lot of questions left over, and we'll deal with those next week. And thanks to people sent them. We, as always, we'll start off with them. It's just the volume of calls that we get. But before I let you go, 3-year-old started biting her nails. Do you know of anything that will help her to stop? It's very young, is it, for starting?
Isn't it? Yeah.
3-year-old.
I'm not too sure here. There's a few like natural deterrents that I know women put on their nipples to wean a child. And I think the child naturally just kind of moves away from the nipple and stops going for it, so it must create a kind of a bad taste. And I think they're based on rosemary essential oil and diluted a little bit, so a few drops to maybe 5 mils of olive oil. And just maybe dip her nails in that, and then if she goes to eat them, like, she'll get a bad taste, but won't be kind of toxic, so she can ingest this stuff, but it might turn her off it. But with any kind of it's very young to start biting nails, and with anyone who bites their nails, tends to be linked to the nervous system, kind of anxiety disorder and stuff. It's just one of these things that people do when they're anxious. And again, with herbal medicine, we'd always kind of give herbs for the underlying cause, and that'd be nervine tonics.
Okay. All right. I think you were getting a bit hoarse like myself.
Just ran out of steam there at the end. Just ran
out of steam, yeah, exactly. But anyway, you're going to be back on this next week. We'll come to the questions, and I apologise that we didn't get to. But for people who want to contact you, Gabriel, they can call.
Again, they can call 07191 42940.
Okay, and you'll rejoin us again next week, and hopefully I'll use one of your cures and my throat will be better. Okay, the CMD training time on Northwest Today. It is now 11:44.
Ocean FM.
Time on Northwest Today, thanks to CMD Training Institute. Training today to meet the challenges of tomorrow. CMD Training Institute.
Ocean FM. Ocean FM. Dependable weather.
With thanks to Celtic Link Ferries for really low fares between Rosslare and Cherbourg, France. www.celticlinkferries.com.
Ocean FM.
We know that times are tough. If you run a business, the chances are you're working harder. Ocean FM can help you work smarter. We can target your customers cost effectively, wherever they are. At home, in the car, at work. Keeping your brand front of mind at this crucial time. Radio is also effective at reaching out to new customers. Add radio advertising to your promotional budget and enjoy a major uplift in brand recall. We've got hundreds of thousands of ears waiting to hear what you can offer. Contact us now on 071 911 8100 and make radio work for you.
Ocean FM.
Johnson's Furniture Ballymote, the biggest seller of beds in the Northwest. Massive bed sale now on. Bargains you may only have dreamt of. There's no gimmicks at Johnson's Furniture Ballymote. Phone 07191 83326. Sale now on.
It's back. Harvey's Point Dinner Cabaret every Wednesday. 5-course dinner and a 2.5-hour show. Starring Jimmy Buckley, Dave Lawler, Kathy Durkin, Jean Fitzpatrick, Caelan McDermott, Valdemir and his Slovak entertainers, and Lord and Lady of the Dance. Bookings to Harvey's Point on 074 97 22208. Special overnight rates available.
Tommy Hilfiger Sligo official massive end of season sale is now on. Up to 50% off all stock in men's, ladies and kids. The Tommy Hilfiger massive clear out sale is now on. Tommy Hilfiger, O'Connell Street, Sligo.
The Errigal Arts Festival from the 3rd to the 18th of July 2010. Presenting Red Moon Theatre Chicago, Altan, Talvin Singh, Vigil, The Divine Comedy, Duke Special, Paul Brennan, Lyric Theatre's The Miser, Tumble Circus, Fidget Feet, Inishow and Carnival Group, and much, much more. Errigal Arts Festival made in Donegal, in association with Fáilte Ireland and supported by the Arts Council of Ireland. Find out more on eaf.ie or call 074 9120 777 for tickets.
My name is Louise. I'm 30 years old and I'm a teacher.
My name is Jerry. I'm 53 and recently retired.
I'm Declan. I'm 46 and I run my own business.
My name is Lee. I'm 24 years of age and I'm a waiter.
Whoever you are, whatever you're doing, you could be doing something more for your community as a member of the Garda Reserve. If you think you've got what it takes to serve your local community in today's changing society, visit garda.ie or publicjobs.ie for details.
Interviews are now being held in your area, so phone 01 858 7651 for your appointment.
Gilroy Tile Super Warehouse Sale is now on, and it's never been bigger. Top quality stone, porcelain and ceramic tiles at below cost price. So hurry to Grange and don't miss out. Large selection of bathroom wear also available at Gilroy Tile Warehouse Clearance Sale in Grange, opposite Super Value.
The Black Lion Festival this Thursday to Monday. Highlights include Big Generator live on the street this Friday from 8 p.m. Free admission. Saturday from midday, their annual fair day with stalls, demonstrations and a vintage car rally. Plus cookery demo by Nevin Maguire. Followed at 8:30 p.m. with Michael Leonard live on the street. Sunday, the final of Black Lion's Got Talent from 5 p.m. with late bars and great crack all weekend. The Black Lion Festival.
The Yates Country Hotel, Leisure Club and Spa, Ross's Point. With a luxurious boutique-style renovation complete, we feel we have something to shout about. Bespoke weddings catered for, decadent spa and leisure centre, the new winery tasting room, gastronomic delights in our new Italian restaurant, Tartelli's. High-end luxury at affordable prices. Come along and see what everybody's talking about.
More music variety and good conversation. Niall Delaney.
Ocean FM. And you're very welcome back to Northwest Today. Now, a big happy birthday to Catherine Finneran, and that comes into you, Catherine, from all in St. John's Kitchen, who hope that you have a lovely day. Just a few events coming up in your area. A home-baked cake sale and sale of new and unused gifts and items will take place in the Rock